very much. Again, we started with wines here from Alexander Valley Vineyards. The first wine we had was not from the Alexander Valley. It was our dry style Gewürztraminer from Guinness McFadden's Ranch up in the Vineyards Valley. Organically grown grapes, very nice floral tones to that. I think you all experienced that. My wife actually uses that behind her ears in the evenings on special occasions there. But hopefully you like that as a pairing with the crab cake that went around. The second wine we had was our estate Chardonnay, and that happened to be the first wine that the winery made when we opened in 1975. Our property was originally the homestead of Cyrus Alexander. He was a fur trapper and explorer back in the 1800s, helped set up the Rancho Sotonomi, which in 1840 was the northernmost point of Mexico. He got to keep 8,000 acres of that rancho for his commission for doing such a wonderful job. The Wetzels bought the property, or the remaining about 700 acres from his great-great-granddaughter back in 1962, started growing grapes there in 1963. They built the winery. It opened in 1975, and this again was our first wine. It's from grapes that are grown right by the Russian River on our estate. So beautiful, very nice balanced Chardonnay. Most of it we pick at night to retain the acidity in the grapes. We get about 30% of it that we do some select whole cluster pressing and age that in 1 and 2 year old French oak. That goes through the secondary fermentation, the malolactic fermentation to produce some creamy notes. And then we age it on the lees or the yeast sediment to increase some of the body. So you get a really nicely balanced chard with a little bit of cream and a little bit of oak, but I think again also paired very nicely with that crab cake as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. The first red wine that we had was our estate Pinot Noir, again grown right by the Russian River. We're the only people that grow Pinot in the Alexander Valley. A little boneheaded that way, but produce a beautiful medium-bodied Pinot. This sees all French oak, and again sourced from our 7 acres that are right next to the Russian River. So hopefully you enjoyed that one as well. And then one of my personal favorites, since besides being the Western Regional Sales Representative for Alexander Valley Vineyards, I'm also a Zinfandel grower. So I grow some Old Vine Zin in the Lytton Springs area in the Alexander Valley, and we have our Sin Zin Zinfandel. We've been making Sin Zin since 1978. It started out as a family wine. The Wetzels used to sell their grapes to other folks in the Alexander Valley, Sonoma County region, Simi, Mondavi, Sequoia Grove, other folks back in the old days. And one year they had a very large crop that exceeded their contract specifications. So they let the extra fruit hang out on the vine until they went through and picked everything else. That of course allowed the grapes to get really, really ripe. And then when they took that back, that resulting fruit back into the old adobe house that's on the property and made it into a family wine. It was a fairly highly alcoholic beverage for those days. So it inspired lots of wild parties, and luckily our assistant winemaker at the time was taking an art class, and he had a book of German woodcuts. And he found the image that's on the bottle today. So an old person lying on a rock drinking out of a horn. That was such a scandalous image for the late 70s that it took 4 different times sending that image back into the BATF to get the label approved. So thankfully they got that set, and we're off to the races, and we were the first people with a fanciful Zinfandel label. So that's working well. As we like to say, imitation's the most sincere form of flattery. You may have seen a few other Zin labels with some fun artwork on them as well. So think of us when you see those, so thanks. The next 2 wines we're gonna taste are a wonderful red blend called Homestead Red. This is a nice mix of Bordeaux varietals, Merlot and Cabernet, mixed with some Rhone varietals. Grenache, Mourvedre, and Syrah, and all held together by Zinfandel. So I lost the bet at the winery to get the picture of the kitchen sink put on the label, but that's okay. I think this is a beautiful blend. You'll enjoy that. Lots of nice cherry tones in this, and some good spice in there as well. And then the last wine we have is our estate Cabernet, and this is what we're most well known for. The valley is fairly well recognized for growing wonderful Cabernet. We have some neighbors. Silver Oak has their cab vineyards next to ours. Jordan is around the corner. And again, we've been producing fruit there since 1963. So we think we know what we're doing. And the Wetzel family that still owns the property has allowed the pricing to remain a wonderful price point. So we think you're going to find a tremendous value out of this Cabernet, and it's also delicious. So please, we can look forward to the wines that are, or the food that's coming around to pair with these, and hopefully enjoy the wines with those as well. And thank you very much. Also wanted to ask Liz about if there are special events coming up with the Sense of Security. I know that this organization does a lot of nice donations to your organization, but I think you've got an event coming up in the next couple of months.
Correct.
That people might be interested in attending.
Okay. If you go to our website, senseofsecurity.org, or follow us on Facebook, you can learn about our fall event, which is called Distinctly Colorado. It is going to be an outdoor event at historic 4 Mile Park in Glendale, Cherry Creek. And it's going to be an interactive, fun, unique event. It's called Distinctly Colorado, a farm-to-table experience.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.